Welcome back, guys. In this video, in this lecture, let us try to read acid, bases, and salts concepts. So, chapter 2 in grade 10 science textbook. And in this lecture, I'll explain each and every concept. So, first, let us start. Here, if you observe this chapter we can divide into few parts. First, we have to discuss about physical properties of acids, bases, and salts. Next, chemical properties of acids, bases, and salts. And then we'll discuss about indicators. After that indicator, we'll discuss about pH value, pH scale, and importance of pH in everyday life. And we'll discuss about salts. So what are different types of salts we have, how those salts are manufactured, everything. So all in this chemical properties of salts and chemical properties of acids, bases, and at the same time manufacturing of salts, will get a lot of chemical equations. All these chemical equations are so important. In examination, they will be asking questions regarding these chemical equations. So what are the chemical equations are there in your textbook? At the same time, in this material, please try to read all chemical equations. So first, let us start with acids. So what is meant by acid? In 8th class, 6th class, 7th class definitions you can find. These are the substances which have sour taste. So what are the substances which have some sour taste known as acid? So simply to say HCl, H2SO4, all these acids, of course, these are strong acids. We cannot taste it directly. But if you see tamarind, which has tartaric acid, curd, lactic acid, lemon, citric acid, if you taste those acids, it will be sour. But if you want to taste HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, nitric acid, etc., how to taste? So you have to take one big bucket of water, try to add 1 drop of acid in that water and try to taste this one. You can feel that taste as sour. But don't try this method. Don't try to taste these strong acids. Next, they turn blue litmus solution red. So I told one simple blind mark to remember. We know B.R. Ambedkar. So if you try to remember that B.R. Ambedkar name, it is easy for you to understand the color change. B, you can relate to blue. So blue to red. So BR means blue to red. If it is changing, we can say that is as acid. And reverse, here we'll learn about the base. Next, they give H plus ions in aqueous solution. Guys, if you take water in a beaker and if you add 1 or 2 drops of acid, automatically you can find in water H plus ions are produced. That is an indication that solution is acid. The term acid has been derived from Latin word acidus, which means sour. In this important points, this one is important, second one is important, third one is important. No need to understand, no need to learn that one. And again, if you see acids, we can divide acids into different categories depending upon H plus ion concentration. Depending upon H plus ion concentration, acids are divided into two categories, strong acids and weak acids. Depending on amount of water present, it can be divided into two categories, concentrated and dilute. What is known by strong acid? Acids which will have huge amount of H plus ions known as strong acid. Weak acids which has least amount of H plus ion. So H plus ion concentration, if it is more, strong acid. H plus ion concentration, if it is less, weak acid. HCl stands for hydrochloric acid. H2SO4 stands for sulfuric acid. HNO3 nitric acid, etc. Weak acids: H3 CH3COOH, acetic acid, oxalic acid, lactic acid, citric acid, tartaric acid. All these acids are weak acids which is edible. So all these acids are edible. Acetic acid, if you take and if you mix water, it will become vinegar, right? Next, depending upon amount of water present, if there is huge amount of water is present, we can call it as dilute. having more amount of water we can observe, plus less amount of acid. Acid content is less, H2O content is more, is known as dilute. Concentrated means having more amount of acid. Acid content will be more and water, H2O content will be less. That is concentrated. That is about acid. And next one is base. What is meant by base? Bases are substances which are bitter in taste and soapy to touch. If you taste that base, it will be bitter, and if you touch, it will be soapy. And so here I told you B.R. Ambedkar, if you remember, if a litmus paper, if it is blue litmus paper, if it is turning to red color, then the solution is acid. And reverse to that, if red color litmus paper, if it is turning to blue, then that solution is, that substance is base, you can say. And I, acids will give H plus ions, bases will produce OH minus ions in aqueous solution. What is meant by aqueous solution? If you take a beaker and if you add water, it is just normal water. Now if you add 1 drop of acid, this entire solution will become acidic. Simply to say, acid is dissolving in water, and this solution we have to call it as aqueous. Not only acid, if you add 1 pinch of salt, this solution will become aqueous. If you add 1 pellet of base, it will become aqueous. So aqueous means if you are adding any substance in water, entire solution will become aqueous. Next, we have two types of bases, strong base and weak base. So sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxides are strong bases. Strong bases means OH minus ion concentration will be more. Weak bases means OH minus ion concentration will be less. Those are weak bases. And here we have a new word, that is alkali, very important. Alkali, what is meant by alkali? These are the bases which are soluble in water. Guys, if you take a beaker, add water to it, and if you add 1 or 2 pellets of bases, if those bases are dissolving in water, so those bases are known as alkalis. Next, salt, which we will discuss later. These are the compounds formed from reaction of acids and base. Simply to say, if acid is reacting with base, acid plus base gives rise to salt plus water, which is known as neutralization reaction also. So salts are the compounds which are formed from reaction of acid and base. If they ask, you can say that. Example, sodium chloride, potassium chloride, etc. You see guys, how to identify acids, bases and salts. I have made a video, that link I'll be giving in the description. You can click on the link so that you can find that video. So how you need to identify acids, how you need to identify base, how you need to identify salt, it is clearly explained in that video. Okay, we are done with physical properties of acids and bases and salts. Now let us see here. Already I told you physical properties, and let us discuss about indicators, pH. Later on we'll discuss chemical properties of acids and bases. Now, what is meant by indicator? In the name itself, we have it will indicate something. These are the substances which change their color or smell in different types of substances. You see, there are 3 types of solutions you can take, or 4 types you can take: acidic solution, basic solution, salt solution, neutral solution. Always it is not possible for us to taste the solutions, right? And also it is not possible to dip our finger in the beaker. Consider, if there is a beaker with some transparent solution, guys, acid solutions will be transparent, base will be transparent, salt solution will be transparent, neutral water also will be transparent. How to identify acid, bases and salts? How can we say in a beaker if there is a solution that is acid? So according to the physical property, acids will have sour taste and bases will have bitter taste. Is it possible for us to drink the acid and base? No, it is not possible. By chance, if it is salt or neutral, okay, nothing will happen. But what happens if we drink acid? So that we have a special thing called indicators. These are the substances which will change their color or smell. When it will change? When it is added to the solution. Now, types of indicators, there are 3 types of indicators. Natural indicator. What is meant by natural indicator? Which are found in nature and in plants. Synthetic indicators, which are chemical substances, man-made. Olfactory indicators, these are the substances have different order. Order in the sense, smell will be changed if it is added to acid and base. So natural indicator, synthetic indicator, olfactory indicator, these are the 3 types of indicators. Most of the thing we'll be discussing about synthetic indicators. Okay, found in nature, that is natural. Examples, if you see litmus, It is formed from the lichen plant, red cabbage leaves extract, flower of hydrangea plant, turmeric. These are examples of natural indicator. And while coming to synthetic indicator, which is man-made in the laboratory, methyl orange indicator, phenolphthalein indicator, which are so important. Methyl orange and phenolphthalein. Olfactory indicators, there are three olfactory indicators are there: onion extract, clove oil extract, and vanilla extract. So these are the three we will discuss. So color changes you have to understand. First, while coming to natural indicators, first we have litmus. Litmus. You see, guys, there are again two types of litmus: litmus red and litmus blue. So here, what will change? If you take the litmus in acidic solution, it will be in red color, and in basic solution, it will be in blue color. And of course, there are two types of litmus, right? Red litmus and blue litmus. In case of red litmus, so basically we have learned this: B.R. Ambedkar, if it is acid, blue to red. So if you take blue color litmus paper or solution, blue color, in acid, it will turn to red. It turns red. But in base, it remains blue as usual. If it is red litmus, then in acid, you see, or B. So if it is red, red should turn blue. Red should turn blue in acid. But in base, remains same as red. So that is important. Please try to understand this. And that is not that much important to learn. Red cabbage, flower of hydrangea, and turmeric, but it is displayed, just you can see it. And now while coming to synthetic indicators, these are the two very important indicators. You can expect questions from this also. Phenolphthalein. While coming to acid, phenolphthalein will be colorless, transparent, but in case of base, that will be pink in color. Next, methyl orange indicator. In acids, it will be red. Basically, methyl orange will be in orange color. If you add in acid, it will be, phenolphthalein will be colorless as usual. Phenolphthalein will be colorless. If you add to acid, it will be colorless, but base pink color. While coming to methyl orange, it will be in orange color. If you add to acidic solution, it will turn to red. If you add to base, it will turn yellow. Then we have three olfactory indicators: onion, vanilla essence, clove oil. You see, guys, if you add these indicators in acids, you can observe change in its smell. But I mean, that smell will be observed. But if you add in base, no smell. So if there is no smell, we can say that solution is base. If you find onion smell, vanilla smell, clove smell, you can say that is acid. So these are the color changes in indicator. Now, this is very important topic: chemical properties of acids and bases. We'll discuss concepts regarding this. While coming to chemical properties of acids and bases, this is most important concept in this chapter. You can expect a lot of questions from this concept. So first, reaction of metals with acids and bases. In acids, if you add metal, what will happen? In base, if you add metal, what will happen? Guys, what are the equations are displayed? You must understand, you must read it, you must remember it. Okay, first, acid plus metal gives rise to salt plus hydrogen gas. Example, you can take HCl is an acid, hydrochloric acid, plus metal zinc you are adding, such that you can get one salt, that is zinc chloride, and hydrogen gas is produced. And if you add metal to base, or if you take base and if you add metal, you will get salt plus hydrogen gas, but you don't have many equations regarding this one. You have only one or two equations, and which is so important. Two times they have asked in your board examination. So base, you have to take strong base. Again, it is not possible for all remaining bases. It is possible only for the strong base, that is sodium hydroxide, plus if you add metal, that is zinc, you can get one salt, that is Na2ZnO2, known as sodium zincate. Of course, hydrogen gas is produced. Now, if you observe here hydrogen gas and hydrogen gas, they might ask you, what is the test? What is the indication for the hydrogen gas? Hydrogen gas is released, it can be tested. How it can be tested? By bringing burning candle or burning splinter near the gas such that it burst with a pop or tup sound. So if you take that hydrogen gas and if you bring burning splinter matchstick near to that, it will burst with some sound. That is indication for hydrogen gas. And next one, reaction of metal carbonates, metal hydrogen carbonates with acids and bases. Now, acid plus metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate gives rise to salt is produced, CO2 is produced, H2O is produced. Example, you are taking HCl, hydrochloric acid. You can take sulfuric acid also, H2SO4, and metal carbonate. Here they are taking Na2CO3. Na is metal, CO3 is carbonate, sodium carbonate is metal carbonate. Here metal hydrogen carbonate you can find NaHCO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate. Right. So acid plus either metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate, you can get salt. NaCl is produced plus carbon dioxide and water. So these equations are important. So here this equation is important. Here this equation is important. You have to read, and this equation you have to go through. And while coming to base plus metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate, no reaction. It will not react with base. And here what gas is produced, guys? CO2. We have seen test for hydrogen gas. Now what is test for carbon dioxide gas means? Carbon dioxide gas can be tested by passing it through lime water. Lime water will be transparent. Lime water chemical formula CaOH taken twice. So if you take this lime water CaOH taken twice plus if you pass carbon dioxide gas CO2, you can find CaCO3, calcium carbonate. It turns milky white, limestone we can call milky white. Of course H2O is produced, and if you pass excess CO2, what will happen? Take the CaCO3, these are products, right? Take CaCO3 plus what is there, H2O, and if you add still carbon dioxide gas, if you are keep on passing carbon dioxide gas, what will happen means again you can find this CaOH taken twice, so CaHCO3 is produced, means that milky white again milkiness will be disappeared, it will become transparent again. So they have asked about this concept 2 times in your board examination. So read all these equations which are present in your textbook. Next, reaction of acids and bases with each other means acid plus base or base plus acid. Guys, you can say 1 plus 2 or 2 plus 1, both are equal, right? Same like that, acid plus base or base plus acid gives rise to salt and H2O. This is also known as neutralization reaction. Reaction of acid and base is called neutralization reaction. Example, you can take HCl hydrochloric acid, NaOH sodium hydroxide gives rise to sodium chloride is salt, HCl is acid, NaOH is base, salt plus water is produced. And here we know there are 2 types of acids, strong acid, weak acid, right? Strong acid, weak acid. At the same time we have 2 types of bases, strong base, weak base. Now there are combinations, so you have to understand if it is strong acid, if it is combining with weak base, of course we will get salt, but what concentration is high? Acid concentration is high, right? Strong acid means H plus ion concentration will be big, weak base means OH minus ion concentration will be lesser. So strong acid means salts will get acidic salt. Here you can find that acidic salt, and water is common in all cases. Next you see weak acid. Weak acid means H plus ion concentration is less, strong base, OH minus ion concentration is high, so salt which is produced will be basic in nature. Next, strong acid plus strong base, both are strong, we will get, don't say it is strong salt, it is neutral salt. Why? Because OH minus ion concentration and H plus ion concentration will be same. Next, weak acid and weak base if you take, you will get of course neutral salt. Why? Because don't say weak salt, because here if you see both concentration will be same as usual, H plus and OH minus will be same. Like that we have 3 types of salts: acidic salt, basic salt, neutral salt. Next we'll discuss another chemical property, reaction of metallic oxides with acids. First of all, you have to understand what is meant by metallic oxides. If metals are combining with oxygen, we'll get metal oxides. Example, magnesium plus oxygen gives rise to magnesium oxide, right? So when metal is reacting with oxygen, combining with oxygen, we will get metal oxides, and all metal oxides are basic in nature. Basic in nature. And if you remember this neutralization, base, for base, what should be added? Acid should be added. So anyhow, metal oxides are base. You see, metal oxides are base. We will add acid to it. So what will happen, guys? Base plus acid. What I told you here, 2 plus 1 or 1 plus 2 both are same. You can say either acid plus base or base plus acid. Both terminology is same. So metal oxides which are basic in nature, if you add to acid, what is produced? Of course, salt plus H2O. Example, you see, calcium plus oxygen gives rise to calcium oxide. Now this calcium oxide is base, and if you add acid, that is HCl, here if you can find that, calcium oxide plus HCl gives rise to CaCl, calcium chloride, plus water is produced. Calcium chloride is salt, water is neutral. Next, reaction of non-metal oxides. You have to know how non-metal oxides are produced. If you take non-metal, if it is burning in presence of oxygen, you will get non-metal oxides. Non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. Now again, while coming to neutralization, acid plus base gives rise to salt plus water. Now, anyhow, these non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. We'll add base to that. You see, non-metal oxides, base we'll add because already this is acidic in nature. What we'll get? Neutralization reaction. Acid plus base gives rise to salt plus water. Example you can take. You see, non-metal, carbon is non-metal. Reacting with oxygen, we'll get carbon dioxide. Take that carbon dioxide, add it to a base, that is calcium hydroxide. We'll get CaCO3, that is calcium carbonate, that is salt, and what is produced. Now, this is the flow chart where you can find reaction of acids and reaction of base. Once if you see, acid plus metal carbonate gives rise to salt plus CO2 plus water. We have learned HCl plus Na2CO3 that. Next, acid plus metal gives rise to salt plus hydrogen gas. Acid plus metal hydrogen carbonate. Of course, metal carbonate, metal hydrogen carbonate, salt plus CO2 plus H2O. Acid plus metal oxides. Why metal oxide? Because that is basic in nature. Acid plus metal oxide gives rise to salt plus H2O, and at last we have acid plus base gives rise to salt plus H2O, that is neutralization reaction. While coming to base, base plus metal gives rise to salt plus hydrogen gas. We have seen one example, that is base, that is NaOH we took. NaOH plus zinc gives rise to sodium zincate. Next, base plus metal carbonate, no reaction. Base plus metal hydrogen carbonate, no reaction. Base plus acid, of course, neutralization, salt plus H2O. And base plus non-metal oxides, this is also neutralization because non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Base plus acid gives rise to salt plus H2O. Moving to another topic, why do all acids and bases have in common? Simple. All acids will have H plus ions in common. All bases will have OH minus ions in common. You can read that one in a video. All acids have H plus ions in common. That's what we have discussed. And all bases will have OH minus ions in common. Simple. Acid or base in water? Simple. From this concept, you can get only one question. What type of question? What do you need to do? Do you need to add acid in water or water in acid? So it is quite simple. You see, guys, acids produce H plus ions in presence of water. So whenever you take a beaker and if you take some amount of water and if you add acid in it, automatically it will produce H plus ions. If you take beaker of water and if you add bases, you definitely OH minus ion is produced because all acids will have H plus ions in common. All bases will have OH minus ions in common. That's what here we can find. Acids produce H plus ions. When bases are dissolved, it produce OH minus ion. Now, for example, you can take H plus ions in H2O gives rise to H3O plus. H plus ions which are already present in water, nothing but H3O plus. Simply to say, if you add hydrochloric acid in water, HCl plus H2O gives rise to, it will become H3O plus ion and Cl minus ion. This hydrogen will combine with this H2O. H2O plus H, it is H3O, and chlorine will be here. Same, when NaOH is added to water, Na plus OH minus. Magnesium oxide, if it is added in water, Mg plus 2 or 2 plus OH minus ion. Simply to say, if you add acid or base in water, what is produced? ions are produced. There are two types of ions, positive ions and negative ions, cations and anions. Simple. So what we have to do while diluting an acid, it is recommended that acid should be added to water, not water to acid. You see, if you add water to acid, that is absolutely wrong, because the process of dissolving an acid or base is highly exothermic. Exothermic means in chapter 1 we have learned exothermic in the sense where heat energy is produced. So if you add water, if water is added to acid, the heat is generated, may cause the mixture to splash out and cause burns, and the glass container may also break due to excessive local heating. So that it is not at all advised for you to add water to acid. It is advised for you to add acid to water, that is also drop by drop, such that if heat energy is generated, that will be absorbed by water and beaker. So adding water to acid may cause mixture to splash out, break the glass beaker. So that it is not at all advised to add water to acid. It is always advised to add acid in water. Next, strength of acids and base. Okay, how much strong is acid? How much strong is base? How can we say? It is quite simple by using one scale, that is pH scale. In universal indicator, guys, universal indicator will get pH scale. Universal indicator is solution type. That universal indicator will add in solution, maybe acidic solution, base solution, salt solution, neutral solution. What will happen, guys? This universal indicator is a solution which we can add in different types of solutions like acidic, basic, salt and neutral. You can find color change. You can observe color change. And what are the colors are present that can be observed using this pH scale? Simple. So pH scale, in that pH scale, P stands for potens. Potens stands for power. Power of H plus ions, nothing but pH. So whenever they ask you what is meant by pH, it is power of H plus. By this, what we can say, guys, whether it is acid, base, salt, neutral, all solutions will have H plus ions. Yes, it will have H plus ions, but only one condition, that is acids will have high amount of H plus ions and least amount of OH minus ions. While coming to base, bases will have least amount of H plus ions, high amount of OH minus ions. While coming to neutral or salt, it will have equal amounts of H plus ions and OH minus ions. So whatever you take, all solutions will have H plus ions in common, right? Now, this pH scale will have few numbers. That pH scale will start from 0 and ends with 14. Middle number is 7. And if you see from 0 to 7, that is acid, and 7 is neutral, and from 8, of course not 0 to 7, it is 0 to 6. 0 to 6 is acid, 7 is neutral, 8 to 14 is base. Try to remember, guys. 0 to 6 it is acidic, 7 is neutral or salt, 8 to 14 it is base. What are those numbers? It is quite simple. We have numbers from 0 to 14. Each number is given with a color. In textbook you can find that each number is given with one color. Now what I told here, we will take one test tube and consider there is one transparent solution we don't know. If you add 1 or 2 drops of universal indicator in the solution, automatically color will be changed. According to the color, we will match with the number. So I told, right, there are numbers 0 to 14. Each number is given with one color. But try to remember 3 colors, that is more than enough. 0, 7, 14, 3 numbers you remember. From 0 to 6, try to remember red. Red in the sense not all numbers will be in red color. Variations of red, orange, dark red, light red, dark orange, something like that. And while coming to 7, try to remember green color. Green color is indication for neutral and salts. And while coming to 8 to 14, remember blue color. Blue and blue variations, light blue, dark blue, violet, indigo, such type of colors. So 3 colors, 3 numbers, 0 to 6, try to remember red color, 7 remember green color, and 8 to 14 remember blue color. Whenever you get red and patterns of red, it is acidic solution. Whenever you find green color in the test tube or beaker, green color change, then it is neutral or salt. Whenever you find blue color change, you can say it is base. That's it regarding pH. Next, importance of pH in everyday life. pH and animals are pH sensitive. Yes, all plants and animals are pH sensitive. Our body works within pH range of 7 to 7.8. That should be maintained. When pH of rainwater is less than 5.6, automatically acid rains are occurred. pH of soil. So if you take soil, pH should be maintained for healthy growth of plants. If soil is acidic, add base. If soil is base, add acidic to make it neutral. pH in our digestive system. In our digestive system, we know our stomach will be producing HCl. It is used for digestion. During indigestion, stomach will produce more amount of acids, which will cause pain and irritation, heartburn, etc. To get rid of this pain, what we have to do? People will use antacids, base, that is very mild base, nothing but milk of magnesia, MgOH taken twice, magnesium hydroxide, to neutralize excess acid which is present in our stomach. pH change as cause of tooth decay. Daily we need to brush our teeth, because when you eat something, you can read all these points. When you eat something, food particles will be present in between our teeth, which will be some bacteria are produced, and bacteria will be producing some fluid, so that will be causing some tooth decay. So to prevent from that, if you see our teeth, tooth enamel made up of calcium phosphate, that is very hardest substance in our body, which will not dissolve in water, cannot be dissolved in water, but corrodes. It will corrode when if pH is lower than 5.5, due to acids produced by bacteria. How to prevent? Using toothpaste. Daily we need to brush twice. Self-defense by animals and plants through chemical warfare. So when a bee sting leaves an acid which cause pain and irritation. And when there is a bee bite, what we have to do? You can use some baking soda, and if you apply, so if you apply baking soda, that will give some relief. Next, stinging hair of nettle leaf, inject methanoic acid, which will cause some burning. To avoid that one, we have to rub that area with dock plant, which will be beside that nettle leaf. So that is about pH in everyday life. Next, pH of salts. Now we have discussed about pH values na. 0 to 6 is acid, 7 is neutral or salt, and 8 to 16 it is 8 to 14 it is base. Now strong acid, strong base flowchart we have discussed. It will give neutral salt, pH value will be 7 because neutral is 7. If you are adding strong acid and weak base, H plus ion concentration is more, so you will get acidic salt, pH value will be slightly greater than 7. If you are using strong base and weak acid, it will become basic salt, pH value will be slightly, here pH value will be slightly less than 7, here pH value slightly greater than 7. Now we are in concept salts. Guys, in your 10th class textbook you have 5 salts. First one, sodium hydroxide, chemical formula NaOH. Bleaching powder, CaOCl2, calcium oxychloride or calcium hypochloride, whatever you want you can call it. Baking soda, NaHCO3. Guys, one small idea I'd like to tell you. Whenever you are reading about these salts, what you have to do means, first you have to remember its chemical name. After remembering chemical name, try to remember its common name. Common name in the sense how your mother and father will be calling those salts. Number 3, how it is manufactured. That is important. So its chemical name, common name, how it is manufactured. Before that, of course, we have to remember its chemical formula. First, we have to remember chemical formula, and then how to pronounce that chemical formula, nothing but chemical name, and in general how we can call, that is common name of the product, how it is manufactured, At last, uses, where it is used. If you concentrate on these 5 points, whatever question they ask regarding salt, you will be in position to attempt it. So first let us see this one. Chemical formula is NaOH. Chemical name sodium hydroxide. We don't have any common name for that. How it is manufactured? Here you can find one equation in red color which you must read it, and uses we'll try to understand. So first, chemical formula NaOH. How we have to call? Sodium hydroxide. Now, when electricity is passed through an aqueous solution of NaCl, it decomposes to form NaOH. Let us try to understand how NaOH is produced. Take NaCl, that is sodium chloride, common salt, add it in water. Huge amount of sodium chloride you have to take, huge amount of water we have to take. If you mix that one, that is known as brine solution, BRINE, brine solution. And if you pass electricity through it, you can find from NaCl, Na will be displaced, from H2O, O and H will be displaced. Here you can find NaOH, and chlorine will be displaced out, and hydrogen gas we can get it here. This equation is so important. They might ask you in examination how sodium hydroxide is manufactured. You have to write like sodium chloride, if it is added to water, that is brine solution, gives rise to, that means when electricity is given to that one, sodium hydroxide is produced, and chlorine gas is produced, hydrogen gas is also produced. At anode, chlorine gas; at cathode, hydrogen gas; near cathode, NaOH, sodium hydroxide is produced. Now while coming to uses, hydrogen gas is used as fuels in rockets and margarine, and chlorine gas is used in water treatment to clean water, PVC, CFCs. So to clean water, that is used. While coming to HCl, so where HCl is used, that hydrochloric acid is used in cleaning all steels, medicines also they can use. And NaOH, where that NaOH is used. This is so important because you are reading about sodium hydroxide, so that you have to understand this one. Degreasing metals. So when there is a grease for the metal, to remove the grease, degreasing we can use. It is used in manufacturing of soap, at the same time paper manufacturing industries. Next, bleaching powder. So here what I told, chemical formula. What is chemical formula of bleaching powder? CaOCl2. What is chemical name? Chemical name is calcium hypochloride or calcium oxychloride. What is common name? Bleaching powder. How it is manufactured? You see the chemical equation: Cl2, chlorine gas, plus CaOH taken twice, calcium hydroxide. So it is produced by action of chlorine on dry slaked lime. CaOH taken twice is nothing but slaked lime. If you pass chlorine gas through slaked lime, you can get CaOCl2, calcium oxychloride hypochloride, bleaching powder, and water is produced. And last we have to discuss uses: bleaching cotton to bleach cotton, and in linen textile industries it is used. Bleaching wood pulp in paper factories, this bleaching powder is used. Oxidizing agent in chemical industries, disinfecting drinking water, to clean water, this bleaching powder is used. If you go to some pilgrim place like Tirumala, Shirdi, somewhere, you can find water, drinking water, where you can find that smell of the bleaching powder in the water. Next, baking soda. So baking soda chemical formula is NaHCO3. NaHCO3 is chemical formula. Next, chemical name. Chemical name is sodium hydrogen carbonate. You can call this one as sodium hydrogen carbonate, or simply to say sodium bicarbonate is chemical name. Well, coming to common name, how we can call? Baking soda. And how it is manufactured? You see guys, you have to take sodium chloride, common salt, take some amount of water, take amount of carbon dioxide gas, and ammonia. 4 reactants are there. Sodium chloride, water, carbon dioxide, ammonia gives rise to ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. At the same time, baking soda is produced. It is non-corrosive base. When it is heated during cooking, what will happen? If you take NaHCO3, we can get Na2CO3, H2O CO2. They might ask question. So if you heat baking soda, write the chemical equation. You can write this equation. So where it is used? It is used for making baking powder. Don't get confused. Baking soda and baking powder both are different. Okay, we have to use some mild mixture of baking soda and tartaric acid. You have to take baking soda and you have to use one mild acid, that is tartaric acid, such that you will get baking powder. So you have to take baking soda and mild acid such that you will get baking powder. And this baking powder will be somewhat bitter in taste. At the same time, if you see manufacturing of cake, bread, something, it is soft and spongy. Why? Because this will have some taste. At the same time, carbon dioxide gas is produced. That carbon dioxide gas will be trapped inside the bread cake so that it will be spongy and fluffy. In textbook, you can find the equation regarding this one. Please try to read that. And it is an ingredient in antacids. At the same time, soda fire extinguisher, soda acid fire extinguisher. Which one is used? This baking soda is used. And fourth one, washing soda. Washing soda, first of all, chemical formula is Na2CO3.10H2O. Water molecule is present, right? Na2CO3.10H2O. What is chemical name? Sodium carbonate. That's it. No need to say sodium carbonate dot 10 water molecules. No need. Sodium carbonate. What is common name? We can call it as washing soda. How it is manufactured? You see, if you heat this baking soda, we'll get Na2CO3, right? You have to take this Na2CO3. Take Na2CO3 and just add water to it. You will get Na2CO3.10H2O. That is chemical formula and manufacturing of washing soda. Where it is used? In glass industries, soap industries, paper industries used. It is used in manufacturing of borax. Whenever you get some wound, that wounds will be cleaned by using a powder, borax. Cleaning agent for domestic purposes. In our house, to clean all tiles, something, it is used for removal of permanent hardness of water. And at last, we have another salt, that is plaster of Paris. Chemical formula CaSO4.1/2H2O, and chemical name is calcium sulfate hemihydrate. It is calcium sulfate hemihydrate, we have to call. And while coming to common name, it is plaster of Paris. How it is used? Sorry, how it is manufactured? CaSO4.1/2H2O, 1/2H2O, that is plaster of Paris. And if you plaster of Paris, POP, and if we add water to it, automatically we will get gypsum. This gypsum is the main product in manufacturing of cement. That's it. So doctors will use POP for supporting fractured bones, for making toys, for making idols, materials, decorations it is used, and for making surface smooth, this plaster of Paris is used. And at last, we have only one concept, that is water of crystallization. Here we have observed calcium sulfate. It has some water molecule. And if you observe copper sulfate, CuSO4.5H2O, you will get. So simply to say, salts will have some water inside it. So if you take a salt and if you heat that salt, literally you are removing water from it, removing water molecules from it, and that is known as crystallization. So if you are removing water, it is known as crystallization. If you add water, it is known as recrystallization or water of crystallization. It is simple. So simply to say, all salts will have some water particles inside it, but while you are mentioning it, you won't mention. If you observe CuSO4 5H2O means 1 unit of CuSO4 will have 5 water molecules. Na2CO3.10H2O means 1 unit of sodium carbonate will have 10 water molecules. Like that we have to say. So if you remove water, it is crystallization. If you add water, it is called recrystallization. So these are the topics which are present in acid, bases and salts. So in this lecture, we have discussed about physical properties of acids, physical properties of bases, physical properties of salts, types of indicators, 3 types. What are the color changes we can find using indicators, and chemical properties which are so important and most important. Acids, here a small flowchart you can find. Acids and bases reacting with metal carbonate, metals, metal hydrogen carbonate, metal oxides, here non-metal oxides and bases. And we have seen what do all acids and bases have in common, H plus and OH minus ions. What is better while diluting, addition of acid in water or water in acid? We have seen strength of acids, and we have seen about pH value, pH scale, importance of pH in everyday life, and pH of salts. We have seen 5 different salts with the chemical formula, chemical name, common name, manufactured and uses. Guys, what are the equations you have found here? You must read, because from these equations only they are going to ask, they are going to give questions in your board examination. So after this video or after this lecture, please take your textbook and once again you revise this entire chapter and cover in text and exercise question answers from this chapter. It will be so helpful for gaining marks in your board examination. That's it in this lecture.